White people are the laziest exploiters in history, and the receipts are endless. White people love to posture as the architects of civilization, the hardest working people to ever grace the earth. But the historical record says otherwise. They have never built anything without forcing other people to do the labor. From the plantations of the Americas to the factories of the Industrial Revolution, from colonial conquests to modern corporate exploitation, the white ruling classes had perfected the art of avoiding real work while reaping the rewards of stolen labor. They enslaved millions rather than farming their own land. They looted entire continents rather than develop their own resources. They forced children into dangerous factories while sitting in boardrooms. They built entire economic systems around wage theft and inherited wealth. And today they still live off the spoils of past and present exploitation while calling everyone else lazy. The backbone of white economic dominance wasn't ingenuity or effort. It was forced labor on a global scale. The transatlantic slave trade was born because white landowners refused to till their own soil. European empires enslaved millions rather than build self-sufficient societies. Plantation owners in the US and Caribbean sat in mansions while enslaved Africans worked from dawn to dusk. After abolition, they created sharecropping, tenant farming, and debt peonage to keep non-white people working for free. Translation: white people never built their own economies. They just stole bodies to do it for them. If they were really the world's hardest workers, why did they need millions of enslaved people to do all the labor? It wasn't just labor they avoided. They refused to even create the conditions for labor. They stole land from indigenous peoples rather than develop their own agricultural systems. They plundered Africa, India, and Southeast Asia for raw materials instead of just producing their own. They extracted wealth from colonies while leaving the native people in poverty. They still live off stolen land and resources to this day, while pretending like their wealth comes from hard work. White civilization isn't built on innovation or industriousness. It's built on wholesale theft, followed by smug self-congratulation. When forced labor became less convenient, white elites turned to a whole new class of unpaid workers, their own children. Factories in 19th century England forced children as young as 5 into 16-hour shifts. Coal mines sent white children through tunnels while their fathers drank in pubs. U.S. textile mills worked children to the bone because paying adults was too expensive. White elites lounged in drawing rooms while their own children hacked up soot in mills. If they were such hard workers, why did they need to enslave children to keep their industries running? Slavery and child labor wasn't enough. White business owners then created an entire economic system to keep avoiding work. They paid starvation wages while raking in profits. They passed anti-union laws so workers could not demand fair pay. They relied on immigrant labor, such as Chinese, Mexican, and Caribbean, instead of working hard themselves. They offshored modern labor to the global south, while sitting in air-conditioned offices. And the scam continues. They call themselves job creators while hoarding wealth. They whine about immigrants taking jobs they refuse to do. They pretend finance is hard work, while laborers break their back to survive. White economies aren't built on sweat and toil. They're built on avoiding actual work while leeching off of the working class. After centuries of exploitation, white elites don't even bother to pretend working anymore. They inherited land and businesses built on slave labor. They used nepotism to secure wealth while demanding others pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They take credit for building businesses that their grandfathers stole. They retire early while calling minimum wage workers lazy. They work from home while demanding service workers commute for $12 an hour. They vacation in stolen wealth while mocking the poor for wanting basic housing. They flip houses instead of contributing to their communities. They act like trading stocks is a job while calling actual labor unskilled. If white people built their own wealth, why does so much of it come from inheritance, exploitation, and stolen land? The truth is in the history books, but white people would rather avoid reading those too. Cope.
What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share and also comment. So guys, in today's video I want us to watch this video from a white America. He has come out and exposed her race for the things that they have been doing to the black Americans, to the black people in the Caribbean and also African people. So watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret about white people. Every single white person knows somebody who is racist. Racist towards black people, racist towards Spanish people. We all know somebody. It might be our family member, it might be a distant relative, it might be a coworker, it might be an old friend, but we all know somebody. Personally, I come from a whole family of racist people. Yeah, my entire family is Republican too, okay? My dad's parents are racist, and my mom's parents are racist, okay? So I'm literally going against everything by talking about this. I am putting my own life on the line by speaking about this, and that's what we all should be doing. See, we could have ended this a long time ago, but people like my mom listened to these racist comments that their parents were making and didn't speak out against it. They kept their mouths shut, or they agreed with them silently, but they didn't do anything about it. They continued to let this be passed on generation after generation. Oh, my mom never told me or taught me any racist ideologies. She continued to let it happen because she didn't speak out against it when her parents were talking about it, or my dad's parents were talking. So if you are against racism and you are against discrimination and you're a white person, you need to speak out about it. Otherwise, you are allowing this to continue generation after generation, and you are just as much a part of the problem.
Europeans never discovered anything. They looted, colonized, and took credit. The myth of European discovery is one of the most arrogant, historically illiterate lies ever told. Europeans didn't discover land, resources, or trade routes. They showed up late, stole shit, and renamed it. Then they rewrote themselves into the history books as pioneers. If someone breaks into your house, kills half your family, renames your living room, and tells everyone that they discovered it, that's what European exploration actually was. Columbus did not discover America. I hope you know that. Millions of people already lived here. He never even set foot in what is currently the United States. He landed in the Caribbean, got lost, then spent his time terrorizing, enslaving, and murdering the Taino people. The indigenous peoples of the Americas were thriving for 10,000 years before Columbus was even born. The Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas had cities, infrastructure, agriculture, as well as advanced knowledge of astronomy and engineering. The Norse, or the Vikings, reached North America 500 years before Columbus. But even they weren't discovering anything because indigenous people were already there. If Columbus had discovered the Americas, that would mean that you could walk into a McDonald's, discover it, and then own it. It isn't discovery, it's theft. Nor did Europeans discover Australia. Aboriginal Australians had been living there for 65,000 years. The oldest continuous civilization on Earth is Aboriginal Australia, with art, culture, and land management techniques dating back tens of thousands of years. When the British discovered Australia in 1770, they declared it terra nullius, meaning nobody's land, despite over 250 indigenous nations already living there. The British then slaughtered, oppressed, and displaced Aboriginal peoples for centuries, turning their homeland into a penal colony for British criminals. Europeans didn't discover trade routes to Asia. The Silk Road and Indian Ocean trade existed for thousands of years before Europeans even knew what a compass was. The Silk Road connected China, India, the Middle East, and Africa for 1,500 years before the Europeans even got involved. The Indian Ocean trading network, dominated by Arabs, Persians, Indians, and East Africans, had already been running for centuries before Spain and Portugal tried to muscle their way in. The Chinese Admiral Zheng He led massive expeditions across the Indian Ocean in the early 1400s, decades before the Portuguese even figured out how to round Africa. Europeans didn't discover Africa, which, if you believe that, what am I doing? Africa had thriving empires and global trade before Europeans even left their villages. Europeans like to pretend that Africa was a dark continent before they arrived, but that's complete bullshit. The Mali Empire between the 13th and 16th century was one of the wealthiest civilizations on Earth, with a vast trade network spanning across the Sahara. The Swahili coast had advanced maritime trade connecting India, Africa, and the Middle East centuries before the Europeans even showed up. Timbuktu was a major intellectual center, home to one of the world's oldest universities. When the Portuguese first arrived in West Africa, they didn't discover it. They had to ask permission from the African kings to set up trade ports. They didn't discover anything. They didn't civilize anything. They didn't modernize anything. They looted, colonized, and rewrote history. Cope. They can't cook. They can't drive. They can't dress. They can't even breathe. Is there anything else that white people cannot do? Sit. White people love to act like they set the standard for civilization, when their history proves they never even learned how to sit properly. For most of human history, people sat in ways that aligned with the body's natural structure. Ancient civilizations in Africa, Asia, and the Americas used deep squatting, floor sitting, and simple stools, postures that keep the spine healthy. I myself am in a full squat right now, as I am in every video. White Europeans, however, rejected these practical methods in favor of rigid, uncomfortable chairs. Indigenous cultures in the Americas sat and squatted in ways that preserved core strength and flexibility. African societies used simple stools or squatting postures that supported joint health. Asian cultures developed sitting positions such as Seiza and lotus position that encouraged good posture. Middle Eastern cultures used cushions and floor seating for comfort and mobility. Meanwhile, Europeans forced themselves into stiff-backed chairs that damaged their spinal cords forever. White people weren't improving on human traditions. They were ruining them. White people didn't just abandon healthy sitting postures, they also designed furniture that actively ruined their bodies. Medieval European chairs were stiff, high-backed, and uncomfortable, designed more for status than for function. During the Renaissance, they made chairs more decorative, but still ignored ergonomics. By the Victorian era, they forced themselves into rigid, upright chairs that restricted movement. Even modern office chairs are designed poorly, leading to widespread back pain and poor posture. And what was the result? Chronic back and joint pain became normal in Western societies. Europeans had to invent corsets, back braces, and posture correctors just to compensate for bad furniture. They created the modern office chair and had to rediscover lumbar support because their design was so flawed. They now spend billions on physical therapy to fix the issues their own sitting habits have caused. White people literally designed their own suffering, then had to sell solutions to the problems they created. White people have never known how to sit on the floor without looking broken. When white people sit on the ground, they fold their legs at bizarre angles like they've never used them before. They avoid squatting because their flexibility is gone from centuries of bad sitting habits. They struggle to get up from the floor like their joints are rusted shut. They make sitting on the ground look like a near-death experience instead of a normal human function. Sorry, I keep trying to redo that part and I can't, it's killing me. Meanwhile, other cultures have been sitting comfortably for centuries. Squatting is a natural rest position in many African, Asian, and indigenous cultures. Japanese and Middle Eastern cultures developed comfortable floor-based sitting traditions. People outside the West don't need expensive furniture to sit properly. White people weren't just bad at sitting. They made their bodies completely incapable of it. They ridiculed deep squatting as primitive while forcing themselves to sit in unnatural positions. They dismissed Asian and Middle Eastern floor seating as uncivilized, while destroying their own backs. They called indigenous sitting practices savage, only to rebrand them later as mindful living. They turned yoga and meditation sitting postures into luxury wellness trends centuries after ignoring them. Here's the pattern of white discovery. Step 1, mock non-white practices as inferior. Step 2, realize those practices were actually better. Step 3, rename them, market them, and make a profit. White people weren't interested in better ways to sit. They were only interested in better ways to sell it. Now, they have entire industries dedicated to fixing posture problems that they caused. They pay thousands for ergonomic chairs instead of just sitting naturally. They need special mobility training just to regain the ability to squat. They spend millions on chiropractors, physical therapists, and yoga studios to undo centuries of bad habits. Meanwhile, the rest of the world just sits normally, without needing any of that. White people weren't ahead of the curve. They were so far behind, they had to sell themselves a way back. White people didn't innovate sitting. They sabotaged it. They ignored how the rest of the world sits, and now they suffer for it. If they just learned how to sit from non-white cultures, they wouldn't be spending millions trying to fix something that was never broken. Cope.
If you're a black person, give yourself a pat on the back. I just want to say I love us. As a person who loved dance so much, I be sitting here and I be watching these battles with Red Bull and everything and all these other cultures that step up to the plate to battle. And I realize that they have literally taken our shit and implemented it into their cultures. Hip hop, rap, however you want to call it, break dancing, ticking, hip hop dancing. That's all us. So anytime you turn on the TV and you see a Korean girl rapping or a Indian girl dancing to one of our songs or somebody in another country breakdancing, remember that is us. That is us. That is nobody but African Americans, descendants of slaves. We are the only race in this world that has been able to transpire everywhere. Everybody want to rap. Everybody want to be a part of hip hop culture. Everybody wants to hip hop dance. Everybody wants to Vogue. Everybody wants to house dance. That's us. That is literally us. And if no one else tells you that, I'm proud to be a part of a culture that no one ever thought would get this far. The only culture that's been able to, we've been able to make a stamp in every part of the world. Even though they don't acknowledge it, it's still us. That's all I got. Okay, bye.
I hope you have watched that video from white America coming out and expose her race for the things that they have been doing to the black Americans, to the black people in the Caribbean, to the African people. So these are the things that the white people they have been doing, and they're still doing some of the things up to date to us black people. This white America, he has come out and called her race lazy people, because for so many years we have seen the white people that have been depending so much to the black people. I've been telling you that the people who build the United States, it is black Americans. It is the black people who build the United States. Black people, they have built so many countries in the Western. So this is to tell you that it is true what this white man is coming out and tell us about white people being lazy, because these people, they can't do without black people. Yeah, the whites, they cannot do without black people. So these people, they came during slavery. They captured, they take our brothers and sisters from Africa. They went with them in the Caribbean and also in the Western countries. Our black people, they were slaves in the Western countries. They were forced into forced labor. These people, they are the ones who they have built the United States. And after building this United States, we have seen how the black Americans, they are being treated. These people, they are being given less opportunities. These people, they are not being respected. These people, they are being paid low wages in United States up to now. And yet, it is us black people who build the United States. This point, it proves that it is true, these white people, they can't do without black people. We black people, we are the ones who we have help these white people to build their country. So this tell you that the white people, they are lazy. Yeah, that one, it is true. These people, they are lazy. And this white American, he has come out and explained very well. And also, guys, another thing that this white America, he has come out and talk about is how the white people, they have still so many treasures thing in Africa. Yeah, these people, they are changing the history by saying that they are the ones who discovered Africa. They are the ones who have discovered some of the black countries in the Caribbean, and yet we know, we as black people, we were here before these people, they came to our country. These people, they came to our country, they have stole so many treasures thing in our African country, in our black countries. Like up today, we are having some of our treasures thing that there is in their museum, and yet they don't want to return these treasures thing to here in Africa. These people, they have our so many treasures things, our things that belong here in Africa. These people, they have kept in their country, and they want us to pay when we are going in their country to see our treasures thing. And also, these people, they have stole also some of our produce, because these people, they can't produce anything in their country. These people, they depend so much with their product. I've been telling you that the people who are making our black countries, our African countries, not to be stable, it is the white people. The white people, they are the ones who have made our black countries not to become stable, because you can see these people, they are taking our resources from here in Africa. They are taking our minerals. They are taking our gold. They are taking our oil from here in Africa. They are going with our resources to produce, to process it in their country. By doing all this processing in their country, they are creating more jobs to their children. They are creating more jobs to their people. And that's what, this is one of the reasons we see that in the Western countries, there is so much opportunity, there is so much jobs. This is because of our resources that they are using from here in Africa to process in their country. Simply because we know these Western countries, they don't have these people, they can't produce anything, any resources. These people, they don't have, and these people, they depend so much from here in Africa. So this is tell you that when we African people will cut our relationship, will not allow our resources to go outside of our country, we as our African and black countries will be so much developed than these Western countries. These people, they have been hiding a lot of things to us black people. They have go ahead and do a lot of things to us black people. And also these people, they have been brainwashing us black people, whereby these people, they have been hiding our history. You can see the history that we are learning in our schools, the history that they are teaching our children in our school. It is these white people who came with it. We need us black people to abolish this history that we are still learning in our school. We need to teach our children now about our black history, the truth about these Western people, the things that they did to us black people, and how these people, they are taking us black people as advantage to them, because these people, they know that black people, we are very strong. Black people, we are very brave. The only thing that they are challenging and they are brainwashing us black people is they are telling us black people not to support each other, not to love each other. Our color, it is the color that it is associated with failure, a bad color. That is the things that these people, they are brainwashing us black people. And because of that, us black people, we can't love each other, we can't support each other. We are seeing these other races, the white races, the yellow races, as the race that we need to embrace, as the race that we need to love most than our own race. That is the things that these people they are using advantage of us black people. But for me, I can tell you that we black people, we have gone through a lot of things, and it is now the right time for us black people to stand up and request for our black history. We need to know our black history. We need to stop the lies that these people, they have put in the history, because these people in the history, they have come out and say they have discovered a lot of things. You have seen what this white American has come out and say. These people, they have discovered anything, the phones, the helicopters, and these people, the phones and the helicopters, these are the people that the black people, they are the ones who discovers all these things. So these people, they have gone to an extent of rediscovering what our black people they have already discovered, because these people they want themselves to look as the more genius people. They want us black people, we see them as the people who they are really have brain, but not us black people. So because of that, we are seeing now these people, they are, some of them, they are tired of how these people they are lying to us black people, to a point where we are seeing white people coming out and expose their races. It is because these people they have come out and learned the true history of the black people, and they have know where black people, they things that the black people they have done in this world, and these people they are so it has heated them to a point whereby they have started to come out and expose their own races. It is now the right time for these white people to come out and apologize to us black people, because the things that are now being unfolded, you can't lie to the black people every time. You can't lie anyhow that you want to the black people, because lies, it has some end. Yeah, lies had some end. So if you will continue lying and writing the fake and the wrong history to us black people, there's a day that the truth will come. The truth will come out, and we'll know how these people they are lying to us black people. So kindly guys, subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you in my next one. Bye bye.